History Garden's AP World History podcast. This series, we are going to be doing some deep dives into Unit 1. Today, we're going to be diving into one of the longest running and most influential institutions in history, the Chinese Civil Service Exam. For over 1,000 years, the system determined who would govern China. It wasn't about birthright, it was about merit. But how did it start? How did it impact Chinese society? And why does it matter today? Let's find out. To understand the origins of the Civil Service Exam, we need to go back over 2,000 years to the Han Dynasty. Han Dynasty lasted from 206 BCE to 222 CE. At that time, China's government was run by aristocrats and the emperor's personal appointees. But Emperor Wu of Han saw a problem. Just because someone was born into a wealthy family didn't mean they were fit to govern. Inspired by Confucian ideas of virtuous and educated bureaucracy, he established an early form of the exam system. Officials were selected based on knowledge, not by noble birth. However, it wasn't until the Sui Dynasty, 581 to 618 CE, that the system truly took shape. Emperor Yang of Sui formalized the examination process, making it the primary path to government service. So what exactly did the exam test? Imagine sitting for one of the hardest tests in history, a multi-day ordeal that could determine your entire future. The exam was based on Confucian classics covering philosophy, poetry, law, and government. It wasn't just about memorization. Candidates had to write essays demonstrating their moral judgment and administrative skills. The structure evolved over time, but by the Tang and Song dynasties, there were 3 levels. 1, the local exam, Zhengxi. If you passed this, you earned the title of student and could continue to the next level. The provincial exam, or the Huxi, this was a major milestone. Passing this made you eligible for a government post. Next is the palace exam, or Danqi, the ultimate test, taken at the imperial court, overseen by the emperor himself. Those who passed became members of the prestigious scholar official class. But the road to success wasn't easy. The pass rate was less than 5%. Some students spent decades trying, and some never passed at all. The civil service exam changed China in profound ways. First, it created a government based on merit rather than family connections. In theory, any man, rich or poor, could rise through the ranks if he was intelligent and hardworking. This made the bureaucracy one of the most stable in the world. Second, it reinforced Confucianism as the dominant ideology. Every government official was trained in Confucian thought, which emphasized duty, morality, and respect for hierarchy. But let's be real, there were flaws. Wealthy families had an advantage. They could afford tutors and study material, while poorer candidates struggled, and the system often emphasized rote memorization over innovation. Still, for its time, it was one of the most advanced methods of selecting leaders. Beyond government, the civil service exam transformed education and culture. The system created a scholar class, the literati, who valued learning, calligraphy, and poetry. Books became more important than swords, and intellectuals were admired more than warriors. It also influenced family life. Households across China pushed their sons to study from a young age, hoping to bring honor and success to their families. The exam even shaped Chinese language and literature. Some of the greatest poetry and philosophy emerged from scholars who had trained for years. For over a millennia, the civil service exam was the backbone of the Chinese governance, but by the 19th century, cracks started to appear. The world was changing, Western powers were industrializing, and China was struggling to keep up. The rigid exam system, which emphasized Confucian ideas over science and technology, became a disadvantage. Reformers called for modernization. Finally, in 1905, during the last years of the Qing dynasty, the system was abolished. China needed officials trained in modern subjects like economics and engineering, not Confucian philosophy. Even though the civil service exam ended, it impacts lives today. Today, China and many countries still emphasize standardized testing for government positions. The idea that government should be based on merit, not just family connection, remains a core principle worldwide. Even the modern SAT and ACT exams and civil service exams in the United States and other nations owe something to this ancient system. The exam may be gone, but its legacy endures. So, what did we learn from the China Civil Service exam? It's one of the history's longest running institutions, shaping government, education, and culture for over 1,000 years. It wasn't perfect, but it was revolutionary for its time, and its echoes are still felt in the way we select leaders and value education today. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to like and subscribe, and as always, keep questioning the past. It helps us understand the future.